Hello, everybody, and a good day to you all today. I'm talking about Limitless, episode number 11. Boom, bing. This is your brain on drugs. In this episode, other people besides Brian take NZT. N is not the right type of people, even though they work for the right side. Yeah, I know. I'll explain that later on. I'll explain that. Now, this show is different than most episodes because it didn't really focus on Brian that much. Now, Brian is in the show, and he has a huge presence in the show, but he's not the main focus. This episode, they pretty much focuses on everybody else that Brian associates with, and it shows you their lives and how they deal with Brian and the things they have to go through in their lives and how they deal with their jobs and how that affects them in their daily basis, I guess you could say. Now, first it starts off with Mike and Ike. Now, Mike and Ike are pretty much Brian's bodyguard, drug handlers, errand boys, assistant, anything Brian needs them to be. That's pretty much what Mike and Ike is. And he has been taking advantage of them by using them to do certain errands for him. Now, Mike, on the other hand, he may not like the errands, but he realizes it's just a job, and eventually he's going to move on to something better. And so he doesn't let it bother him. He's annoyed by it, but it doesn't bother him as much. Now, Ike, on the other hand, he feels as though he has no more options. His career has stalled, and he's pretty much Brian's errand boy. And he thinks that this is going to be his career until he retires. Yep, he's going to be an old man still finding licorice for Brian. Or jelly beans. Or a plastic mask. Or crayons. Whatever Brian wants, that's what he's going to be doing. And it's freaking him out. And the stress is getting to him. Which is causing him to get a weird, nasty looking rash on the palm of his hand. It looks disgusting. I mean, it probably wouldn't be as bad if you didn't pick at it so much. I mean, everybody knows if you mess with it, it just gets worse. So just leave it alone. It's just disgusting. And then you have Agent Rebecca Harris. And you see her dealing with her relationship with another FBI agent, Casey Rooks. And turns out Rebecca was never really in love with Casey. Not at all, because I don't know how they got together. Maybe it was a strange hookup or something like that. And somehow she got stuck in a relationship she didn't want to be in. And because of her fear of confrontation, she was too scared to break up with him. And now she's pretty much stuck in a relationship she wants to get out of. And every time she tries to get out of this relationship, well, things happen and she chickens out. And then she's pretty much still in a relationship she wants to get out of. Yeah. And then you have Agent Spillman Boyle. And you get to see his life as well outside the agency and what he had to deal with at home. Now, like I said before, it starts off showing Mike and Ike. And they have a routine. They go to the special clinic run by the FBI, pick up the NZT for Brian, give him the pill, start the day. Regular day all the time, even though Brian has them do some weird errand. But while they do the weird errand first, then they go to the clinic, pick up the NZT, give the pill to Brian, start the day. Same routine all the time. Well, this time some people broke in and they stole a lot of drugs there, and they also stole all the NZT. Yeah. And in the process, the woman who runs the clinic, she gets killed, and Ike, he gets shot in the process. Yeah. Yeah, because Mike makes a mistake that causes Ike to make a sacrifice that pretty much almost gets him killed. And so, just like always, Brian takes the pill and he helps solve the crime. And the thing was, though, the crime in the clinic was not the main focus because that ends pretty quickly. Boom, that's over with. Boom. But here's where the show goes crazy. Or gets interesting, I should say. Some of the FBI agents who were on the field who recovered the drugs decided to take some NZT for themselves. Because Casey has seen Brian on NZT, and he has been curious about this since the first time he saw him. And he has been amazed how how fast Brian learned things and solve things while he's on NZT. And he keeps wondering to himself, what it would be like if I was on it. Because see, Brian is a civilian. Other than him being on NZT, he has no reason to be there. He has no experience. He has no training. All his life, Brian is smart. And he has a lot of potential, but he's a slacker. And he didn't do nothing with his life. And so before NZT, he'd probably still be at home right now, getting high. That's pretty much as far as his day would have went. And probably working at a job he didn't like. That's it. As a temp. Yeah. And so, he probably been telling his men about Brian, how he is on the drug. And so they probably said, maybe we should take some too. And that's where things go crazy. Because the temptation is just too strong. They got to know what it'd be like if on NZT. Because imagine seeing somebody become a superhero right in front of your face, knowing they took a drug to do that. The temptation to try that drug to become a superhero too is overwhelming. And so they try it. It starts off pretty normal and pretty good. They're having a lot of fun. But it takes a really dark, dark path. Because here's the thing. Seeing other people on NZT shows just how special Brian is. Because he didn't let the NZT pretty much control him. He's pretty much in control the whole time. Even though at one point he did try to get a little dark, but not too much. He's still Brian. He's still goofy. He still cracks jokes. He's still silly. Even though he's helped solving the case, and he can come up with a lot of amazing things while he's on NZT, he hasn't lost his personality or pretty much like his soul. But when you see how Casey is while he's on NZT, he becomes like this cold, very focused soldier. All that training, all the experience that he had, and all the things he has witnessed in his life as an FBI agent has pretty much made him more dark than Brian. Because Brian pretty much had lived pretty much a happy life. He had a happy family. He got along with his siblings. He probably thought he was a slacker, but he still had a close relationship to his father and mother. He pretty much had a happy-go-lucky kind of life. He didn't have the experience that they went through. So seeing the contrast between them, how Brian is right on the NZT and how Casey was, totally different experience. And one of the agents, while he's on NZT, caused him to do something that's very horrible. Yeah, because he finds out the truth. And sometimes the truth will not set you free. Ugh. Yeah. This was a really good episode. I enjoyed this a whole lot because you can see the different perspective for other people, and you got to know other people better than you did before. Because most of the time, it's mostly just focused on Brian, and everybody else pretty much like his sidekick. But this time, the focus was on other characters on the show, and it makes you get to know them a whole lot better, which like strengthens the show. Because it makes you care about them too. Because even though the FBI agents who took the NZT did a bad thing, you really understand why they took it. And you really don't blame them for taking it, too, at the same time, even though you know what they're doing is horrible. I mean, it's a bad thing they're doing. And the thing is, though, it makes you think about what would you do if you had the opportunity to take a drug that makes you super smart. Would you do it? Even though you know the consequences maybe end up bad, but would you still try it anyway? Because your curiosity is so strong and so powerful that could you just like let it go and just say, nah, I'm not going to do it? Or would you just say, yes? I mean, at least just once. But that's the thing though. NZT is like very addictive. I mean, it's different than like something like crack or heroin, something like that, or meth. Those things are addictive, yes. But they mess you up in a negative way. NZT, even though it doesn't have a bad side effect to it, you die, yes, but it enhances you in a positive way that it'd be hard to just take one and just let that go. Yeah. Like I said before, I enjoyed the episode a whole lot. If you haven't been watching Limitless, I say check it out. Watch this episode. Leave your comments down below. Let me know what you thought about this episode. Because I enjoyed it a whole lot. And it ends on a cliffhanger. And another agent, I don't want to say who that is if you haven't seen this episode. I don't want to spoil it for you. Has to make a decision. Yeah. And since you've seen what happens to other people on NZT, it makes you wonder how would he be like if he's on it. Yeah. Well, that's all I got to say about that. So, like I said before, leave your comments down below. Tell me what you thought about this episode. And give my channel a big old like, hit the thumbs up. Boom. And subscribe to my channel and share. I really would appreciate it. So like I always say in my dreams and in real life, I am the Ninja Rabbit. Peace out. Peoples.